will begin. Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Namaste everyone and welcome back to Das Spake Satguru Sivananda. We are taking the quotes of Guru Garu, Guruji, and we are going to discuss through some reflections, our own reflections on the quote. And if there are any questions, we discuss those at the end of the talk. Nana is here. And he's going to speak. So I'm going to share the quote and we can begin. God is absolute truth, a dynamic which, unless addressed, does not respond. Therefore, saying God is love, grace, etc., is diluting the absolute truth. They are only the human values. Over to you, Nana.
Namaste, everyone. Here is a quote before us of Satguru Sivananda Murty garu, where he says, God is absolute truth and also adynamic. So in this quote, we can have three, what you call the main points for our discussion. In fact, if not three, there are four. Because absolute is itself an attribute. So the truth is there, absolute is there, truth is also there. And very important thing other is adynamic. Fine. And at the end, he refers to human values that relates to the forms and essence of God. This is in a series. It is the fourth quote we have taken for some efforts to understand it. In a way, all the four quotes are directly interconnected, and it is also appears to me as a student of history, it is chronological. The appearance is very chronological. There was a comment on my explanations of these quotes. One, Professor R. Raghavendran, who is a senior Guru Bhai at the feet of Satguru Sivananda Murty for almost 3 to 4 decades. He was an engineering specialist and scientist. He made a small comment after listening to my talks. He says, it has nothing to do much with the spiritual experience of the quote. He clearly said that it is historical, analytical explanation and intellectual exercise, mostly historical. That comment was true. And in fact, in these explanations, we are only looking at the bare facts and the concepts that appear in Guruji's quotes. And as a student of history, I'm only trying to link up these things because everything is related to God in its concept, and everything takes us to one. So that way, no quote is not connected with the other quote. So, here in this sense, when we have taken these four together, in the first place, we have seen what is before this creation, what we generally call Brahmanda, what was before it. So we have referred to, because this is all matter, so there is something which is beyond this, must be non-matter. And we also try to explain in Guruji's words, how about that particular phenomena, and from where the present material, the Brahmanda, has come into being. So we have referred to a fact that slowly the non-matter is transforming itself into matter, and also the matter, in his quote, matter also evolves into soul. So this soul evolving from the matter, resulting in species. And we have also seen that these species, their highest perfect transformation into human species, it might have taken a longer time. But we said that this human being has the intellect, and he can perceive, he can look at everything, and he is the only one who has the feeling of I. And also he exists. So I exist, because this consciousness is mostly with the human species. Because we are a human species, we can only speak of human species. What happens to the other things which are not human, we can simply say that it was only, might be instinct. So let us leave it there. And now, so what is that which is behind all this phenomena? A non-matter transforming into a matter, and matter into souls, and souls evolving into themselves in the form into intellect to a human being. So who is doing this? How is it happening? Without any maker. Without any maker, how can it happen? This is the basic thing. Since the thinking man developed, he has been thinking about this, even to the present man, even present speaker, to the present speaker. Many people have thought about it. Some of them have searched about it. Some of them have pursued through a number of ways to perceive it. Many people have tried, maybe lakhs and crores. And out of which we have this particular Veda as a perfect knowledge that has descended through Brahma and Saraswati, and also through Ganga to the Bhumi, to the land. So this is a chronological account. So the Veda means the knowledge about the universe, knowledge about the Brahmanda. So all this knowledge has come to us, but we have not done that. We have not prepared that. We have not made that. So when we do not know what happens, what made this phenomena happen, is the main question troubling all our minds, even yogis and bhaktas, and then ritualistic people, so many people. At that time, we have to look into even the philosophy, what we have thought of Veda. Philosophy has come out of Veda. We simply call it as Vedanta. Vedanta consists of so many Upanishads. Thousands of Upanishads were there. Many teachers were there, and many disciples were there who have learnt about this. So it's somehow the thinking man, because he is not responsible for what it exists. He is not even responsible for his existence. So a thinking man has to think that, if you follow a particular reason, logic, so if there is a thing, there must be a producer, a maker. So if the Brahmanda is there, there must be someone who made it, or at least who made it happen. So here comes the concept of God. You can give any name to God. The concept of God has been understood by many people, many ways, and many of them have shared their views. And yogis are there, then the jnanis are there, bhaktas are there, and those who have been scholars and philosophers, they are there. And those who are engaged in the Vedic rituals and other rituals, they are also there. Their perception is maybe different. And what about the common man like us, like me? So common man also has some certain perceptions. So the first thing is, as referred to in the quote, is the absolute truth. So he is an absolute truth. God, he or she or it, whatever it may be an energy. So when everything is forming, whose intention was that? Whose sankalpa was that? There must be somebody who might have thought of having this. So this is the basic logic behind the existence of God. So Guruji says it's an absolute truth. Absolute and truth, both are different, because truth is the noun and the absolute is an attribute to it. As human values are also attributed to truth, so this first word, first term, absolute, is also an attribute to truth. Then how many truths are there? If it is an absolute truth, how many truths can be there? There may be many truths. Then again, truth has to be qualified. Truth has to be explained. And when the explanation comes, it's an intellectual exercise. So there, absolute truth, and another term is there, adynamic. It's not dynamic. But what he has made, if he has made the entire universe and then it's Brahmanda, but this Brahmanda is not adynamic. It is dynamic. And here, everything changes, transforms from one form to the other. And it is also filled with energy. Unless there is energy, Chaitanya, Shakti, everything, the transformation, everything cannot be thought of. So all these are there with that person or phenomena who has thought of this Brahmanda, who thought of working all of these things, transforming in evolution, the entire evolution is coming up. So this is all dynamic. This dynamic action can be found only in the Brahmanda. What is the nature of non-matter that we don't know? What kind of, what you call the dynamism or anything, the energy or whatever you say in non-matter that we do not know. But what we perceive from the Brahmanda, so there must be someone, if he is not a dynamic, how can this dynamism can come into the Brahmanda? So that must be what you call a great energy, an energy forming by itself. And through that energy, everything might have come. Because if you look into Devi Bhagavata, where there is Lalitamba, or supreme deity must be there. That is the energy from where the energy is shared by all the Brahmandas. Not only this Brahmanda, there may be many Brahmandas. So this energy has come from there. But who is adynamic? So there it must have been an adynamic thing existing there through which the dynamism has come. Adynamic has produced dynamism. So this is the truth. So when he says absolute truth, and adynamic. We have so many terms when we speak of Shiva or Vishnu or any other main gods or goddesses. We also attribute sthanu. Sthanu means adynamic. It doesn't have, nothing is going to happen in it. It is sthanu. So from sthanu, it has become dynamic. The Shakti form has come. And Shakti and sthanu, the source of Shakti. So Shiva is considered as source of Shakti. So the Shakti is there, Shiva is there. Shiva may be sthanu. Out of sthanu, the dynamic Shakti and energy has emerged. And because he has awakened, the whole Brahmanda is alive. So absolute truth, the truth is the existence of that God, existence of that power, existence of that energy, which is beyond Brahmanda, because Brahmanda cannot have all these things with itself. There is something beyond Brahmanda, a Shakti and energy, a Sankalpa, that might have made this Brahmanda. So that's what we exactly look into absolute. That is absolute truth. What is truth? The truth is exactly, the difference is what you can see, what you can perceive in Brahmanda with all your five senses, and also the other mind. Mind is also having an eye, mental eye. So these six senses will make you understand only when it is a matter. Only when it is a matter, these six senses would help us in understanding them, in perceiving them, in feeling them, in experiencing them. So the other thing what we are referring to, the absolute truth, that absolute truth may not be like this, because that sense, with all six senses, we cannot observe that. So what is its form? How does it look? That, it's very difficult that we can speak on. So here, again, when you come to the understanding of God, as popularly known to us as God, so is God one or many or only two? Or in the Brahmanda, how many gods are there? How many goddesses are there? It becomes a very big question to us. When we say it is absolute truth is something beyond this Brahmanda. But what is the truth? Truth is within the Brahmanda. So within Brahmanda, you are naming a number of gods and goddesses. And many Shaktis have been given the names of gods. So this happens. This is the truth. So when we say absolute truth and truth, we make a distinction between the one which is responsible for the entire happening, and second, what is functionally perceived by us is a truth. That's also truth. Can we say that there is no Shiva, there is no Vishnu, there is no Brahma? Unless these three are there, the Trinity, you cannot have this particular Brahmanda functioning. So this is a truth, and that was absolute truth. And that was adynamic. It doesn't move by itself, but it moves all of us. Generally, as a human being, just a boy, he steers some van or something like that. But he doesn't move, but that moves. So similarly, the adynamic absolute truth is the absolute truth which controls happenings here in the Brahmanda, how the evolutions are taking place. So for the evolution of matter into souls, into bodies, and also into the souls, and again these souls take so many layers of evolution up to they become Brahma by themselves. So these are the layers of the evolution of souls. So the entire thing is being operated by the operating forms or the specs of this particular absolute truth. They are also truth. So then how God is looked by either atheists or then theists. Atheists may also look at God, may not be accepting the point of God in the form that we are going to pray, we are praying. But they also agree that the phenomena is happening by itself. So we also think that the phenomena is happening itself, and we are also there, we are also part of it, we are enjoying it, we are experiencing it. So the phenomena is happening. In this, how the theists or atheists, see, at a level, if you go at a level, from that level, this theism or atheism, they join together. And the existence, whether your existence or God's existence, whether these two are mixed up with one, that is a yogic experience. So when we look at the entire phenomena, that the knowledge about the information about God, we can make a few classifications historically. One is yogic perception. Yogi, he thinks, he feels, he experiences that there is only one. That's the idea of Advaita. There's only one when he elevates himself to the upper consciousness. Suppose if you had universal consciousness, or if you could go even beyond universe, that consciousness, even then he wouldn't think that there is one another. Suppose from individual consciousness he rises up to universal consciousness, every universe is he himself. So that is Advaita understanding. And all others, particularly there is one more cadre also, that is jnanis. Jnanis are not yogis. But yogis and jnanis could be there. But that jnani, when he operates in the Brahmanda, within the communities, within the living bodies, so his understanding is something different. So he is also, in a way, an Advaitic practitioner. And he keeps everything away from him mentally, and then he involves himself in all the activities of the universe. So that is a different kind of person, different from yogi. And yogi can be jnani, a jnani can be yogi, but they have different functions to do. And there are bhaktas, about whom we have also referred in the earlier quote. That is bhaktas. Great bhaktas are there. And here, bhaktas cannot go up to Advaita. That's what we say. Because they don't believe in the concept of Advaita. Because they have two feelings, that they are there and God is there. He is there and God is there. This duality is always with the bhaktas. Even great bhaktas, each bhakta will be praying and then having the devotion only at one point. So that's in a way Advaita for him, because when he goes up to Sahaja level, but otherwise he is always a duality. And we have another cadre who are great scholars, Vedic scholars. And we have seen many Upanishads, many discussions have been there. And these Vedantins go on analyzing the concept of God, the working of God, performance of God, and his qualities, the qualities of God. And Vedantis, if you look at the Upanishads, they also try to speak about the absolute truth and also the truth, and mostly concentrate on the absolute truth. So this Vedanta, in a way, when you follow this Upanishads, there is a discussion that who is God? He is not God, it is not God, that is not God, that is not God. Then who is it? They are referring to this absolute truth. They may go up to that. Then what was the absolute truth? We have one simple example, because there are many who spoke on this phenomena, but a historically known example is about the Buddha, Gautama Buddha. He wanted to see God. He wanted to ask him some questions. He wanted to know why all these things are happening. So he made a very sincere effort. He practiced all the established ways of praying God. But later he found that all this is what you call is different from what is exactly there. So when he says that he is going to be, he even rejected soul. And similarly, when there is no soul, there can't be any God. So there is no question of Advaita. So what happened to him? He said he is going to have nirvana. In the nirvana, he doesn't have any ego. So he is going away. Whether we call it moksha, as we thought of in the earlier quote, was it moksha? We don't know. Because nobody can certify whether somebody has got the moksha or not. So that was about the Vedantis. So there are some who have been very sincerely practicing Vedic rituals. Yajnas are being done. Different kinds, hundreds of kinds of yajnas are there. So at the end of the yajna, again, they have to say that they are leaving everything and going. So this is one particular phenomenon. The rituals are being done. The Vedas are read. But Advaitin, Shankaracharya, Jagadguru Shankaracharya, he says that this may not take you to the ultimate. So the Vedanta is their perception, and they have created a number of gods and goddesses out of all the energies that are operating in this Brahmanda, wherein Vayu is a god, Agni is a god. So what are the things that are operating in the Brahmanda to conduct Brahmanda? So all those Shaktis, all those energies, maybe they might have come from one, they might have some source of energy, top energy, but no, they have shared these energies and the Brahmanda is functioning because of them. So all these are gods. So the ritualists have made many of these Shaktis as gods. So we have numerous gods. It's also said that we have 33 crores of gods and goddesses. Maybe 33 crores by number it may not be true, but some people, some great scholars have said that 33 types of gods are there. Koti means here type. So that way, that can also be true. That, we cannot question this, whether it is a number or it is a classification. So we have such gods coming from the ritualistic practices. Because we have discussed so many things about the God and his nature and also his forms, and we try to link up them with the present understanding of God. So we shall stop here, and then we can continue about the commoner's perception along with the next quote. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Nana. Thanks for explaining the difference between truth, absolute truth, and why the Ishvara in his true form is a dynamic. And when the Shakti or the energy, when he has come into a finite form or as a god like Vishnu or Shiva or Brahma or Devatas like Lakshmi, Parvati, Saraswati, then they become dynamic. in nature. So thank you so much for explaining to us all the differences and elaborating on the quote of Guru Garu. And thank you everyone for joining us. If you have any questions, text me on the group. I am there. Either text Nana or myself, and then we will get back to you on that. And then we can take it further in our next discussion as well. Thank you, everyone, and namaste. See you all again tomorrow, same time. Namaste.